Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Vicky, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a high ticket closer, but it wasn't always the case. I used to be stuck in a 9-to-5 corporate job that I hated. So yeah, I'm here to share some insights into what life on the other side of that looks like and how I teach women how to do the same. So guys, I remember the day when I got a promotion, and it was probably the worst day of my life. Let's just talk about something that nobody tells you about when you get a promotion. You can get the pay rise or the title and the little clap and the pat on your back from your manager and still end up crying in your car after work. And that was me. I got promoted twice and still sat in the car wondering whether this was really it. So if you've ever felt like no matter how successful you get in your 9-to-5, but you still feel empty, then I wanted to share this video for you. I thought more money would fix it. I want to take you back to my first corporate job out of uni. I was on 14 grand a year, £1,100 a month after tax, which was not bad for a 21-year-old. And I thought just having a full-time job was the win. A year in, I got promoted, 16 grand a year. Felt like a big deal at the time because my hard work was paying off. And then when I handed my notice in, as I was offered another role in another firm closer to home, back then I was adding up little things like how much it was costing me to drive into Liverpool every day, how much it was costing me to park. Well, they offered me another 2 grand to stay, like an extra £200 a month or something. And that was meant to convince me to stay somewhere that drained me. And I know now, no matter how many carrots they dangle, more money, a new title, slight little upgrades and perks, that you're still going to be a slave to the system. You're still asking when you're allowed to take a break. You're still having to get time off approved, and you're still chained to a desk while life passes you by. So in terms of the environment, like, let's talk about that. I worked on a team where, not throwing shade at anybody, but every single person looked physically and mentally done in, where people actually used to go home and nail a bottle of wine or two every night just to numb what they'd been through that day at work, and then binge on shite every day just to get them through the day. Like, that was the most exciting part of the day. Fat Fridays. Now, some of them were lovely people, but when I looked at the people senior to me, the ones who I was meant to look up to, they were stressed, miserable, toxic, unhealthy in every sense of the word. There was so much drama in the office, micromanagement, gossip, people having affairs, sleeping with each other, managers who track your lunch breaks like it was school, people literally asking permission just to go and eat. And I remember this one time I was boxing and I had a fight coming up, and obviously we all know how important nutrition is. And I got told that I wasn't allowed to eat at my desk. And that just summed everything up for me. I knew that they didn't give a shit about my health. I remember sitting there thinking, if this is what success looks like, then I don't want it. So I used to use my mornings to escape. Every morning before work, I'd sit in my car just to breathe, and I'd put on a podcast on the way to work. Those Jay Shetty, Mel Robbins, The Mindset Mentor, Grant, and I'd just sit there and listen and hoping one day that I'd find a way out. I was reading every personal development book under the sun, Atomic Habits, The Slight Edge, trying to make sense of why I felt so out of place in a job on paper that was going so well. And I remember being on my lunch breaks, literally just scrolling on Rightmove, looking at all these £1 million properties that I used to sell as a conveyancer, thinking, how on earth did people become this rich to be able to afford these houses? Deep down, I just knew that I wasn't built for this. Like, I wasn't meant to be spending the best years of my life asking someone when I was allowed to go on holiday, or even worse, when I was allowed to eat. The system was just never built for us to win. And the day I cried in my car, it wasn't after being shouted at or told off. It was after getting my second promotion. And I remember thinking, like, I should be so happy, but why do I still feel so lost? And that's when it hit me, the system isn't broken. It's working exactly how it was designed to work, to keep you comfortable, to keep you compliant, to give you just enough not to quit. They offer promotions like treats for good behavior, basically like a dog. But at the end of the day, you're still asking permission to live your own life. You're still earning less than you're worth, and you're still stuck building a dream for somebody else rather than your own, and walking away from that title, you know, from that comfortable familiarity, from that security, those little pay increases and the, you know, oh, you're doing great performance reviews. I walked away from that. Guys, remote sales, it changed everything for me. I didn't need to start a business or have a fancy office. I just needed my laptop and a willingness to walk away and learn a high income skill. Now I'm able to work from anywhere. I decide my own schedule. I never have to beg for time off or to eat. I eat when I want, or explain why I need a break. And the best part of it is, like, I get more pay, or I get paid more now in 1 month than I used to in an entire year. So if you're in that place now, getting these promotions and doing everything right, but you still feel miserable, then it's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to change it, because no one is going to change it for you. Like, you don't have to stay stuck. You just need the right skill and the right people around you and the right environment. So if that's you, then book your free strategy call today if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about how remote sales works.